So anyway, we got, like as I mentioned, we got the whole home stretch. Is the QR code still up? If you haven't yet, take the survey. We want to hear more information, but we're going to get right into the closing. One of the last sections, evening keynote, Revolutionizing E-commerce Logistics, Delivering Speed, Precision, and Sustainability. Chris Jarvis, COO of E-com Logistics. Join me on stage. Woohoo! Woo!
Thank you. Well, we can keep this a little less formal now that there's only this many of us. Woo! Welcome to the discussion, Revolutionizing E-commerce. Who wouldn't be interested in this? I mean, we are going to completely overcomplicate moving boxes, right? I mean, from a customer experience standpoint, how hard can it be? I want what I want, and I want it now. I am Chris Jarvis, E-com Logistics. I absolutely love this topic. It's the blending of supply chain, retail, and customer success that gets me up in the morning. And this is the perfect forum, I think, to talk about that. So thanks for having me for the last few days. I've really enjoyed going deep into customer experience, learning a lot about exactly what you professionals do every single day. We do have teams on customer care at e-commerce, but to fully hear the breadth and depth of this room has been a pleasure. Let me dig in. I won't bore you. A little bit of my background. Why does an engineer have any need to talk about customer care in a logistics business that's just pragmatic and about execution? It's because I started my career in bricks and mortar retailing, in-store operations. Loblaws, Hudson's Bay. As a young engineer, I took a path somewhat less traveled than others. I found myself standing in stores, understanding customer satisfaction. From there, I got the opportunity to work with DHL, Metro Supply Chain Group, and was fortunate enough to design, build, and execute some of the very first supply chain e-commerce solutions in North America. ToysRUs.com, I think, was my very first endeavor into the space. A massive facility in the center of Ohio, and we thought one warehouse was more than enough for all of America. Wow, would we ever change that today? From there, I know what is true to all of you is software is eating the world, and that technology is a game that you must understand well, and you must not only understand, you must be able to adapt to it, evolve it, and in some level even create it. And I took a leap in my career and started a small company called Go4Delivers, a digital marketplace where we did last mile deliveries just in time for the construction industry. Home Depot was our largest customer, and we built that thing completely over COVID, and it was an experience of a lifetime. From there, I got introduced to returns, and a big problem for e-commerce these days, if you haven't experienced it yourself, is how do I return it? I buy 2 pairs of shoes, I don't want one, it needs to go back, and then the pain and the friction starts. Return Bear is a digital solution to rectify that problem, put the merchant back into that interaction and have control of that return process. Octane, world's largest reseller of labels, worked with them to create a customer experience vertical. Customer experience vertical for Octane, who is ShipStation, ShipEngine, Stamps.com, etc., means can we put a promise in the cart? Order today, get it by tomorrow at 2. How do we begin to have accurate notifications across a global network of multi-carriers? It goes on a ship, it goes on a plane, it goes into a truck, it goes into a van, it goes on a scooter. How do we keep that label and that customer aware of that journey? That was a problem space we were endeavoring to figure out. And the third pillar of customer experience for Octane was really the return side. How do we build that into our software? So that was my foray into software, and now is where I'm at, and the most exciting part of my career to date is e-com logistics, the future of fulfillment. How do we become a modern 3PL? How do we create end-to-end solutions that exemplify the customer experience that many of our customers are looking to have? Let's talk about the issue with no finish line, the problem that cannot be solved. Customer experience. It's like continuous improvement. It's now and forever. It's just changing. If we look at the past, bricks and mortar, the real world controlled by retailers and brands seems easy. I'll give you a story. I think I was in year 2 of my career. I'm in Hudson's Bay Company on the sales floor. Erin Mills Parkway, if you know the city. Yeah. Erin Mills, Mississauga. And I was charged with, I don't know how I ended up in this position. They were like, so go fix customer satisfaction. We have a customer satisfaction problem in our stores. I'm an engineer. Sorry, how do I do this? So like any good engineer, I got a clipboard in one hand, I got a stopwatch in the other, and I got a calculator in my pocket, and I'm determined to measure everything that happens in this big store on 2 levels, all at once. And I'm running around for weeks, night and day, collecting data, until one day I'm standing in the middle of the store, clipboard in hand, stopwatch in the other, writing down notes, and a lady comes up to me with a pile of product in one hand and $50 bill in the other, going, I've been wandering around this store for 45 minutes, up and down. You don't want my money. She threw the stuff on the floor. She walked out the door. Never to come back, I assume. But as a young engineer, naive and innocent, I went, that was the worst thing that could ever possibly happen to me today. What do I do now? And then it all sunk in. I'm passionate about people, and I'm passionate about the outcomes. I'm passionate about the promises that we create, and that has stuck with me throughout my journey, and that takes us more towards today, the digital era. The digital era where the merchant is disconnected. People cannot wave cash money in front of your hands. They can't be as dramatic. It's subtle, it's digitally driven, and it's fragmented, and it's complex. Supply chains move in weird and wonderful ways, most ways that average consumer doesn't understand. They simply want their boxes on time and as promised. Further complicating the supply chain is the fragmentation of vendors and people like e-com who participate in the process. It goes from one hand to the other hand to the other hand, and I didn't cause the problem. It was the other guy, not me. And so you get a lot of this never getting down to the root cause. But let's talk a little bit about e-com for a second so you understand what we do every single day. We're a third-party logistics company. We've been in business for about 7 years. We do delivery. We do it kind of fast, same day, next day, and we also run large fleets for other dedicated retailers. Fulfillment, we pick, pack, and ship. We do it accurately, and we do it fast. The third part of our business, the third line of business, is freight. We've got to help merchants get stuff off the water, get it into our warehouse, and at times we have to get large quantities out of our warehouse into other warehouses, and that's all the freight division. That's not unique. Lots of people do that. We think same day is pretty good. We think our ability to operate a warehouse is second to none. But a lot of people do it. However, what is our secret sauce is the business model of our scale that does end-to-end. We do order-to-door is what we like to talk about. And we seamlessly create that experience for both our merchants and their consumer. We have one number to call, one throat to choke, one back to pat. That is us, and that is what makes us passionate about the experience that happens in between. However, the nuts and bolts of the business is not the only thing that we do. It's about how we show up and how we interact with our customers that we believe makes us who we are and why customers love to work with us. It's about operational excellency meeting customer experience. And that comes from transparency and ownership of end-to-end, and the transparency to be forthright on when we succeed and when we fail to a fault at sometimes. It's important to us that our merchants see exactly what happens with their products. It's about bringing tailored solutions. A lot of people do custom warehousing at a price. We do tailored solutions at a smaller scale because we know not one size fits all. You can market it, it's a great slogan, but in reality, it requires tailoring of solutions to get it right, and that's what we endeavor to do. Our commercials, our go-to-market, it's a cost-quality trade-off, and we make no bones about it. We show the numbers, we do the math, and we are explicit about where we make money, how we make money, and we show the trade-offs around quality of service. And then we look for ways to say yes. We're innovators. We lean in, we're curious. What bugs you bugs us. How do we work on that together? How do we co-innovate? How do we co-collaborate? These are all things that are setting us apart in the market. And speaking of the market, and no one does it better, right? Fulfillment and delivery is central to the CX experience for Amazon. You cannot have a conversation about customer experience and logistics and not bring up Amazon. They are the definitive benchmark. Speed, accuracy, seamlessness, digitization, sustainability, any one category, they lead. They lead all categories. We admire them. We work for them, by the way. We've learned a lot from them. And serves us well to understand why and how they've done what they've done. What I think we need to understand is just the level of of issue, should there be an issue, just how extreme. It couldn't be more difficult if you do a bad experience. The stakes couldn't be higher. 85% of the people that we talk to say after one bad delivery, they won't order again from that retailer. That's pretty extreme. You've got to get this right, and to get that right at scale requires discipline and rigor like never before. 53% go to a shopping experience in the cart, and they will abandon that cart if they don't see the times that they need to deliver product to their door. We don't plan things. We don't write them on our agenda. I need this for the barbecue on the weekend. I need that dress for this party. We wake up and go, oh, wow, I think I need this. We're impulsive. And that's where speed wins, and that's where, for us, we've taken cues off of that. Lots of debates. Does speed really matter? Yeah, it matters. People buy on speed. People buy on predictability. They buy on confidence, and that's why they go to Amazon. If you have 3 choices on the web today, I guarantee you, if one of them's Amazon for the same product, you'll pick it from Amazon because of the confidence and trust that's been established in their logistics process and the customer experience that results from that. The bar is high. But why is it high? Supply chain's complicated. There's lots of friction. I asked my customer service team to give me a list of some of the things that happen to us on a daily basis. Why do people call? What frustrates them? Well, they said things like delivery issues, lack of visibility, poor communication, post-purchase. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to get this here. We've had delays. Who do I call? The shipment's broke, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on at scale. As a room full of CX experts yourselves, I'm sure you could tell me more about how that happens and what customers are thinking than I could possibly tell you. But we look at this every day, and we've thought about it a lot. And for us, it comes down to, so what are the root causes? Why does this friction exist in our supply chains, in our way of shopping today? Outdated technology. Technology doesn't talk to other technologies. Keeping up with the pace of change that's been talked about for 2 days is relentless. We're moving faster than ever before, and AI is going to keep us moving at a pace that we probably can't even fathom. Keeping up with your technology stack is critical. Physical and digital, misalignment, cadences. What happens digitally can't always happen at the same pace physically. Physical processes drive systems, or systems drive physical processes, however you want to look at it. We tend to look at it, systems drive physical process today. Once upon a time, as an industrial engineer, the physical process always won. Today, the technology leads the physical. Even if it's suboptimal, you must create the data and take care of that data. And then it's people, service providers and retailers. Change is hard. Innovation takes time, and you just need to engage and work with people to figure out ways to have them understand the why. The how is pretty easy. The why wins people's minds and hearts. Full life cycle, edge cases, corner cases. We always seem to get the happy path right. It's pretty easy. But that only happens once in a while. That happens in a blue moon. When you start shipping to 40 million Canadians, that once in a while becomes a ripple effect in supply chains that's unrecoverable when you're in the fourth quarter and you're pumping out volumes that are 10 times every other month than you had up to that point. Any misstep in the chain has a massive consequence to consumers, and when it starts backing up, you'll know it really quickly. And then lack of holistic fulfillment strategy. Long gone are the days that I just put it in trucks or I just pick it. If I pick it really quick and it sits on my dock, if I order this remote today at 9 o'clock, just to put it in a package really fast and then have it sit till 7 o'clock tonight when UPS picks it up, I went fast to wait. And then it goes into their sortation system or their airplane, gets sorted, and might go into a truck. We've got 24 to 72 hours before that will even move. And so this inefficiency, this waste of time doesn't exist in the likes of Amazon, doesn't exist in the likes of e-com. We pick, pack, and ship same day. We endeavor to hit the majority of cities in that routine, and that takes a level of speed and accuracy and removal of friction to do that. So when we're thinking about strategy and we're planning our business, and we're thinking about this friction, we're thinking about where we need to go, we think about technology first. Technology underpins and sets the reliability and the communication pathways by which we can go fast. And speed is a pillar for us, as I talked about earlier. Same day, accurate picking. It takes speed, but it takes great technology to do that. From speed, we can then eke out accuracy, removing error, error proofing, etc. And the fourth one is sustainability. For us, the green is the new speed, they say. For us, we're committed to being carbon neutral by 2030. When we started the company, it was all about speed. Fastest delivery company in the city, now fastest delivery and fulfillment company in the city, and now it's how do we become the greenest delivery company in the city? Because we know Gen Zs and we know millennials put value on this, and we know they shop from retailers and merchants that have similar values to them. All right, so let's dive a little deeper. Technology, there's tons of things I could talk about. Hopefully just won't put you to sleep, but a little bit more about where we're going with technology, things that have been done recently or on our roadmap to be done in the near term. And I got to pull this up a bit. And so we talk about real-time tracking and monitoring. Sounds easy. All trucks, every package, everywhere, every route. Red, yellow, green, what status are we in? Why are things happening? What is traffic doing to us? We are working on that now and planning to do new releases on that in the coming year. Flexible delivery options and two-way communications to customers. We just released a massive update on our platform. Customers can change their address. Customers can give instructions to drivers. Customers can seamlessly notify our dispatch and make change of plans or put a unit number to their delivery. They can cancel the delivery even though it's been picked and and a label's been applied. These are all things around customer experience that matter to our merchants, and they're things that we're endeavoring to build out in our tech stack. Automation, fulfillment, warehousing. We're in the middle of a massive reinstallation of a new WMS, a warehouse management system, because we need more automation. We need more customization. We need greater capabilities inside of the four walls. That's happening right now. Demand-based inventory optimization, pretty fancy words. Small merchants don't know too much often about their inventory. It comes in lumps, it comes from overseas, it lands. When do I reorder? How do I reorder? What SKUs are moving? What SKUs are not moving? What do customers think about certain SKUs? We are their inventory intelligence arm, and we need to feed that back to them. Often the biggest barrier from going from self-distribution to outsourcing distribution is I can no longer see my inventory. I can't touch the samples. Well, we steward that inventory on their behalf and take the necessary pictures and give them the necessary reports to ensure them that their inventory is in good hands. Digital proof of delivery, picture's worth 1,000 words. Most recently, our network. Now, if we drop a package off at your door, the picture comes along with the notification. You guys have probably all done an order or two with Amazon. It's kind of just like that because it gives customers satisfaction to know it's been complete and I can see it. AI. We've talked a lot about AI in this room in the last 2 days, and there's no shortage of AI within the supply chain taking place. For us, it comes to bear in two places in the short term. One is route optimization, the other is customer care. In route optimization, the weather, the traffic patterns, the delays, AI can read the route better than humans. They can make adjustments better than humans, and we're letting AI understand where we go every day with our trucks, and they're starting to see patterns. It's pretty exciting stuff. It'll do a great job of keeping that part of our business out of a bunch of effort and administration and really streamline that process to be more successful. And then there's customer care, something near and dear to this room. Customer care for us is a continuous improvement department. They have the authority and they have the expectation to not just be doers. They are achievers. And what I mean by that is we don't just answer the phone. We answer the phone because the phone is ringing. However, what we're really endeavoring to do is why did the phone ring and how do we create action? And the authority part is you have the right to go to any one of the operators or the people that are causing that friction and talk about it and get it to zero. The mandate is to make the phone and the email stop. Not because we want to put you out of a job, because we want to put you in a position of continuous improvement, operational excellence, and we want to give you the skills and the training to become analysts. It's okay that the phone rings, but why did it ring and what did we learn from that engagement? That's super, super critical to us, and we think it's a long-term investment that will pay off really, really big. Creates a lot of work as well. If we step back now, let's talk about this big issue that we're maybe impacted most of us in the room, Canada Post as a CX crisis. In 2024, just before peak, there was 32 days of strike by Canada Post, leaving 10 million packages undelivered at the most important time of the year. It created business impact, mostly for small and medium businesses. This is their only way to get their product to market for a lot of them, and they were stranded. The customer service, customer experience fallout was dramatic, and the impacts were felt widespread. What I want to talk about really is what are the lessons learned? What's happening in the logistics industry as a result of this? We need Canada Post. We need them healthy. They have a role to play, but the market is shifting as a result of these actions. Merchants are diversifying their carrier base now more than ever. Merchants use, on average, 6.1 carriers to ship their products across this great country. That's partly the reason of this. Our phone did not stop ringing during this event. At the threat of another strike just weeks ago, it rang again. Luckily, and because of digital infrastructures, most merchants are in a much different position today, not knowing where the future is, but a lot of them feel a lot more comfortable having the diversification that they've achieved in the last 6 months or so. And then national and carrier networks. Once upon a time, it became you would just go with one carrier, Canada Post, lowest rates everywhere in Canada. Simple. We can do that in a couple weeks, and we're done. Today, we're looking for regional expertise in a combination with a back end that's national. And we're really cherry picking. Systems can help us cherry pick where are the best rates, where are the fastest lanes, and when we get that box to the pack-out station, what label should go on it? All of our tech does that rate shopping today seamlessly. And I think lastly, it's around, I can't read that. It's around really synergizing your fulfillment and delivery and synchronizing it so they're more in line with each other. The pile up that happened with Canada Post is a result of everybody picking very quickly at a pace, and then it all gets jammed into a big pile. We're now looking further down the chain of events than ever before. When we pick it, do we have line of sight, and can we ensure it's going to get to the door? We made a promise in the cart, I'm picking it now, we see a delay, hold it, change the promise, or yes, we're good to go. And so we're looking at it like a pipe, and it needs to flow. There's no sense going really fast here just to get clogged and sit in a truck for 32 days. Lots of lessons learned on that one. Big problem for us in Canada, and we want this to be well taken care of for the future. I won't read all of this because I honestly can't see all of this. But we have a strategy. We have a roadmap. We've been at this for 7 years, e-com doing fulfillment and delivery, and it's a strategic roadmap. We're not all the way through this, and we don't cover all aspects of it, but this is what we've told ourselves and the people that know us. And I'll just say 3 things about all of the points here, because it is wide-ranging and complex. Know your customer journey. There is no detail in that journey that should be overlooked. There's nothing that should be called, oh, that's an exception, don't worry about that. We've got 98% of it covered. That 2% will bring you to your knees, I guarantee it. And that's where we think about, what do customers really want? How are their behaviors changing? And often what we see, the customer care tickets that are coming before us, sometimes were never problems, but become problems because customers change behaviors. So having interactions and digging deeper into, is that journey still relevant? Are people changing their behaviors? What do we need to change as a result of it? So really reading the signals, but it starts with know your customer today and then follow them along their life cycle and their journey. My kids shop very different than myself, right? They're getting their information in different ways and they have different expectations than I ever did. And they teach me things. Those behaviors need to be understood with your customer and the customer you're serving, the end consumer. Measure, learn, fail, and continue to evolve rapidly. We got to get this life cycle of speed. So when we talk about CX at e-com, they are the mirror. They are the raw truth. If the customer calls and complains, we don't debate it, we listen. We learn, we evolve, and we move rapidly. Long gone are the times, at least in our organization, where we second guess and be naive or say, no, we're better than that. It's the customer's issue. If it's setting customer care, if it's a ticket that got created, it's fact, and we listen to it that way. Think holistically. No detail is too small. Said that already. Those are my 3 takeaways from there. There's lots more to go deep in building an organization like ourselves. I'll leave it there for now and break a little bit into the world of digital and things that we are doing in the logistics era to keep pace with where we want to go. And that's around personalization. It's around automation and robotics. It's about data-driven experiences. It's about cloud-based computing, IoT of real-time devices. And all of that is great. We do a lot of this for efficiencies and profitability, but we also know along the journey comes a feeling that's created in technology, a feeling that everything is just made for you and everything just works. You may not always use that feature or that function or that option, but when needed, it's there and it's available, and you go, oh, that just worked. They were 2 steps ahead of me. And with technology, it is that race. You're always racing to be ahead of your consumer, to predict and be in front of them. You can't always make it, but on a really good day, you surprise and delight by saying, oh, everything just works. I had a problem, and now there's not so much friction in that problem. I called, I emailed, I texted, I went to the portal, I made the adjustment, and it just worked. I think we can all agree that we've been through some of those experiences, and when they do happen, it's fantastic. When they don't, we're really frustrated. So tying the ends around it digitally is key for us. And then physical logistics. If we're looking at the trends reports and thinking about what we're doing as an organization, it's all about local. Local is sustainable. Local is fast. For us, local fulfillment is near and dear to what we do. We're in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver today. We'll continue to move to other large markets, but we are a regional player focused on urban centers, and hyperlocal is what we want to do. You'll see us in the near term make some announcements around the grocery industry because they are super local, and we think there's super advantageous benefits for being connected to grocery that we're excited to take part in and digitize and really get more customer insights. Grocery is a commodity that you visit every single week. It's like a subscription program at some level. And that customer intimacy, I think, is a real thing that we value in the project work that we're doing, and we will announce shortly. Smart packaging. We talked about multi-carrier handling. You're going to get boxes. They're going to have QR codes. They're going to go forward, and they're going to go reverse. That QR code will be able to change direction and do other things. We're keeping very close eye on that and starting to research what that could mean for us. E-bikes, it's connected to local and sustainability, of course, carbon neutral by 2030. All of this physical stuff, we can talk about drones and robots, and we're not there yet, but it's about how do you bring more confidence and more predictability through the assets that you deploy. And digital is your brains, physical is your assets. How do you make those work seamlessly together? For me, I'll wrap it up here and leave you with how we think about it. Customer experience doesn't end at the checkout. It starts at the warehouse and comes to life at the doorstep. It is about satisfaction. It's about post-purchase. Merchants no longer separate digital and physical. They're blended. I think we can all agree on that. Trust, smart routing, predictive ETAs, and error-proofing fulfillment aren't just ops wins. They are trust signals. And when logistics communicates clearly, customers come back. We think that's super important, that trust between our merchants and their customers is maintained. AI, data-driven logistics. When data predicts issues, routes better, and communicates clearly, it becomes a customer experience tool, not a back-end system. And so the orientation of all of these things as we close out is how do we frame it into a customer experience model? Loyalty, every touch point counts. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the bar couldn't be more difficult to achieve. It's set by Amazon, as we talked about earlier. Brand love, green is the new fast. Millennials and Gen Zs made it clear. We're making it clear. We want to have the same value stream, and we will buy from merchants that allow us to do that. And with a little less than 2 minutes left on the clock, because someone said they will shoot darts at me, I'll open it up to questions or other comments. Does anybody have a question? It's okay. It was a lot. Sorry, I talked fast. Logistics is not just moving boxes. It's really complex. And if you haven't been introduced to exactly what happens inside of a warehouse or a trucking industry, it can be a little overwhelming. Absolutely, absolutely. And it gives you a whole different appreciation.
how do you get your measurements if you're you're the third party?
Yeah, great question. So a merchant comes to us, they sell blazers. We talk to that customer, we onboard them. We digitally integrate their Shopify account, their WooCommerce account, their Walmart, their whatever they're selling, their platforms that they're selling, including their own stores, their own networks. We will digitally API connect. We will start to receive their inventory. We'll configure how we want to run the warehouse on their behalf. They'll be all part of this onboarding journey. And then eventually we'll talk about shipping, and that's how that'll take place. So all of our data is coming up in our systems, but it's also coming from them initiating the process and us sending back to them. Good question. It's a pretty complex tech stack.
Hi. With all the data that you're collecting about these specific local customers and these databases that you're building up on them, are there any customers you choose not to take on or partner with?
Customers we choose not to take on?
Yeah, to continue with?
And so, yeah, we're pretty selective. I mean, we're privately owned company. We're bootstrapped and we're profitable. We look for customers that want to engage for a longer term, ones that share the same values as we do. We're not looking in turning over customers, and the effort and what it takes to get it right to the level that we want to get it right takes time. So we are looking for a commitment in that way and a like-mindedness around this, yeah. We're not just come on in and use our space and let's just ship some stuff. It's not that easy to get it started to do it right. If people are open to that, they're probably not in it for the long haul, yeah. Thank you.